turkey vulture does. Like, get off him, this is my kill. And that's their kill now. They're like, ah. Oh, sorry, spoon.
What they do?
They
got a
got zombie
knife.
spoons, sporks.
Little T in the end.
Oh.
Okay. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Welcome everyone to Fear the Walking Dead. I'm Shorty.
And I'm Travis. We're going to break down the latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead tonight.
We're also going to break down some beer from Epidemic Ales.
Craft beers from Epidemic Ales.
Yes, sir.
We're breaking down Squad Ghouls. Fucking badass. IPA.
Collab with the SoCal Brewery.
All right. We're also going to be breaking down episodes 12 and 13 entitled In Dreams. 13 and 14?
Maybe. We don't know. In Dreams and JD.
You got it.
They might all scramble together. Who the hell knows?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Let's get to this review.
All right, sounds good.
Look at that color. It looks like that's a hazy.
Looks like an infection.
Hey, ball. Looks like or a burn boil.
Woo. Juicy.
The juice. It's so much juice.
I got this just for you. All right, so very, very quickly, we will go over the Mother's Day episode, which is the worst, most awful Mother's Day episode ever.
No.
So called In Dreams, starring the Grace and Morgan show.
Yeah.
So, or actually not even that, the Grace and her daughter, Athena, and Morgan show.
Okay, what a great name too, right?
It was a good name. Appropriate, sort of, kind of.
So Morgan's rushing. It's kind of
necessary.
an investigative, kind of like whodunit, reversing backwards from the actual incident that happened. Morgan's trying to drive Grace really fast to go to the hospital to see June. There's a problem with pregnancy, or she's just really due. And in the midst of this, we start seeing this really high contrast walking with Grace and this beautiful girl named Athena.
So Grace is unconscious. Athena actually saves her. And I mean, everyone knows, right, that you could figure out that was the daughter to begin with. But what we don't know is the trail of events. Is this a hallucination? Is it a dream? Is it a forecast? Foreshadow?
Yes.
Foreshadow.
Foreshadowing.
Whatever the hell it may be. So, and it's very pink, this episode. It's like my hair pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, very pink.
So usually we see high contrast like that in a TV show. It's because something's out of normal. We find out it's a dream later on. But one thing that was kind of a dialer in this episode was that I didn't even know that this child that Grace was having wasn't Morgan's. I realized in this episode that it was Morgan. I, for some reason, wasn't putting that together until after this episode.
I didn't even watch the show and assume the whole time it was at Morgan's.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I don't know why. Huh, interesting. Anyways, so the whole episode is basically trying to figure out what it's all about, what's it trying to tell us. So really the meat and potatoes of it is towards the end, I think. So we're actually going to bypass a whole shit ton of this movie, or a shit ton of the show. So kind of all the way to the end, go all the way to the end. Now, not only is Grace, Morgan's trying to revive her, like she's losing consciousness. He has to resuscitate her at one point in time. But now he has to actually move her in a wheelbarrow because the bad guys are coming.
Yeah, they're being chased by Riley. And if you remember him from the episode before where Alicia and them got out of Teddy's underground encampment, Riley is the manager, like the assistant branch manager of the underground apocalypse. And it's his group that is tracking down Morgan, which made me kind of really think, when Alicia got left behind, Alicia would give up where Morgan was. Because how this guy that was pressing so hard to find out where Morgan is, now know where Morgan's at. He got no information unless Alicia gave it to him. So it was really weird to see him there.
Actually, I just thought of something, though. There was a big boom. There's a big boom that could show, really where they were. I mean, they're the ones that planted the bomb in the car. That actually kind of makes more sense, too.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, they had to plant...
Just had that epiphany, everybody.
Sure. I mean, they planted somewhere where Morgan was on the road to see June, so who knows how far out they were. Obviously, we have the city, we have, the Virginia places. They're all kind of... I mean, it's Texas, right? They're all spread out pretty far, but still, it's I mean, how far out they got close enough to Morgan's place, where it's between Morgan and where June is. So obviously that was somewhere on the road. So who knows?
So there's a bunch of actually the coolest scene that I thought was when Athena and Grace are fighting the zombies the same time that Morgan is fighting Riley and his crew.
Yes.
I thought that was a very cool, really nicely done scene. And so from all of this, from all of what though that Grace is trying to put together, she really feels like Athena is the key to like the success of society. Like she's putting everything on this baby. So then we get the big twist that it's just so bad. It's so for Mother's Day. Like you were telling me, you were trying to warn me ahead of time. Okay, so before the bad stuff really happens though, I mean, because Grace has so much just conviction that this baby is going to be the savior of everybody, that she actually forces Morgan, when Riley finds them, Morgan actually takes out everybody else, and then Riley, he leaves and then comes back, bashes the barn in, but Grace actually convinces Morgan to give that key back. Yeah. And then it was all for naught. So that was great.
And if you think about this, Athena, even though, she didn't make it through the birth, she could be the catalyst that makes everyone come together. Because she said, because of Athena, the Dwight and Shay got back together. Because of Athena, our groups got together. Because of Athena, everything's better. So even though she is not born, it doesn't mean that the Athena and her presence, and Athena and her spirit, and Athena, what she meant to the group, could still carry them through and be the catalyst for change.
And that's evident in the next episode. JD, nice segue. I don't even want to talk about what happens in the end. If you watch the show, you figured it out. I don't feel like crying again. There's that.
For Mother's Day, geez, I was like, did you watch this? Oh my gosh.
No, I didn't. There's no way. Oh my God, I had to watch that on Mother's Day. I didn't even be a fucking figure.
Of course I did.
I didn't. I couldn't do it. Anyways. All right, so now on to JD.
JD starts out with June coming to see Morgan. She found out what happened with the baby, I guess by Raven, as from Game of Thrones. She comes back and she wants to see Grace.
They have walkies,
Morgan Raven's walkies are both black and
carrier pigeon.
So they carry messages, and so so June comes to met by Morgan, and Morgan wouldn't let her in. And he goes, tell me why you want to come see Grace. She goes, you won't talk to me. He ain't gonna talk to you. Because she blames you. We all blame you because of you not being here.
Basically, Morgan gives June the biggest guilt trip on the planet, and I think I was really mad. I was really mad at Morgan because my big thing was, of course, a loss of a baby is horribly disgusting, horribly tragic, but also June lost her husband. Like, she's still battling, like, her own kind of demons, her own, like, she was not there for him. Like, she's got all this going on, and now you got this freaking bozo yelling at you and blaming you for the loss of a child. Like, that's terrible. I was really mad at Morgan. I don't know. I was mad.
The very first,
Morgan.
The very first, phase in loss is anger. Right?
For sure.
Morgan's obviously still there. Oh, it's a progression, it goes to denial, goes to a lot of different steps.
And not helpful. Grace is apparently like not communicative, like just on her own, and righteously so. Like everyone deals with loss in a different way. But
and Morgan even says, the reason that we lost baby is because you weren't here to deliver, because I couldn't let you stay here because of what you did to Virginia. And so he's already broken down in his mind that him pushing her away was her fault, and that why they was going to survive. So it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while before Morgan processed everything and became back to his Morgan self, his free thinking. But obviously, anger is the first thing you do.
Fast forward to the end of the episode, and they're just fine.
Yeah, anger's always the first. Anger's always the first step.
So really cool things happen in this episode. Yeah. But I also think really far-fetched things happen in this episode. And this episode is like the Lion King big circle of life. Like that's all I kept hearing in like my head because it was like this big circle of life.
Yeah, there's always, you're tying things in a bow is one thing, but to do a double knot, it's kind of like, okay, man, like we get it. You're tying things up.
This is off. I'm sorry. Okay.
We're gonna have a karaoke
I'm moving on
break.
now. I'm moving on. All right. So when June leaves, Dwight actually follows her, and he follows her for a very specific reason. He actually says, like, the only reason why I'm alive is because you and Dory, and then of course that stupid hoe Sherry's got to follow along too, and then she's trying to.
You mean go just tall drink of water, Sherry?
Oh my God! No, that idiot, stupid. I'm gonna say goodbye to you 57 more times before this goddamn show is over, Sherry. That's hashtag. Goodbye 57 times. I'm just saying. Anyways. Right. All right. So they get shot at. So as they're in conversation, they get shot at. Which this is my other amusing part of the show. So June actually says, "Okay, you chuckleheads, cover me." they don't cover where the firing's coming from. They're just shooting the zombies.
Exactly.
I thought, well, that's really stupid. That's the worst cover job I ever seen.
Well,
and then that stupid idiot finds a big RV and just like, oh, well, there must be nobody here. I didn't see a body.
To compliment, just to compliment on that, she breaks off a mirror to look up and see who's shooting at her. The person shoots the mirror out. At that point, no one's covering me enough to fucking chase this guy down.
Exactly.
He's obviously shooting everything like a carnival.
Sherry, you stupid bitch, you go.
Yeah, exactly. Dwight, you go ahead and go take care of this, Dwight.
I don't know. Send the
Sherry,
dummy.
stay here.
Send the dummy. I'm fine sending the dummy. So how did she not know? Like, obviously, there's no body. She doesn't find a body. This is obviously his RV, but she just puts all of her guard down, and then, of course, in the back of the head.
Yeah, and she knows this. I think she knows this is RV. Like, oh, for some reason, the guy that was just shooting at me is probably not in that RV. I'm gonna break out his window, do some recon, and go in the window. Oh, but let me try to cut my hand on the glass, put a jacket over it. Fucking, oh my god. Okay, gets in there, does a little reconnaissance of photos of all the places where the spray painters had been. And then I was going back over her head.
Yes. And then we find out a very cool thing. So we're going to flash forward. But there is like this entire CSI thing going on. Like, I'm surprised there wasn't string connecting on the map, all that kind of good stuff.
Right?
So, but very cool. Did you guess? Like, I actually kind of assumed it was him. Did you guess?
I did not know it was John Dory's dad.
I don't know why I thought, but I actually kind of guessed. Anyways, so he actually, this is probably my favorite part. So so June actually says, I can prove that I can help you, right? So he lets her try to take her to this one clue that he missed somewhere. In the course of her driving, he keeps calling her sweetheart, which is awesome because then she fucking loses it.
Yeah,
and
don't call me sweetheart.
Exactly. And he called her sweetheart one more time. She said, don't do it. And he did it. And then she crashed his fucking RV. So...
Fucking, I know,
How
right?
are they not done yet? I'm just going to say that. Okay, now it's out of my system.
Yeah, she wanted to go back for her jacket, right? She left there. And he goes...
He's like, bish, bish.
He's all bish, eat a fish. This thing is only going one way. This RV goes one way. It's going that way. And she's like, what? But then the RV's going nowhere because the axle's spinning.
Oh, shocker. There's another zombie caught underneath the car, making it not work.
Yeah, it was a
Find
stowaway.
some new material, Fear the Walking Dead. Come on now. We have already used the zombie keeping the car from rolling. Stop it.
And how does the zombie go, oh, there's something up down. I'm going to call into the axle to go get to this guy, not the door or the window. And he's actually caught up and wound up in the axle of this RV. It's like, fuck. Come on, man.
And this is where my other big question of the day came from, which we've actually heard this argument, and we're not going to hash it out here. But if anyone wants to weigh in comments, that would be fantastic. Why do zombies, now this old, have so much blood still left in them? And we hear they actually acknowledge that part of that was whatever fluid, transmission fluid.
Right.
Part of that was transmission fluid. So we get part of that.
Which is the same color, too.
But, well, I had to verify that, yes. I had to ask that question. But, anyways, moving on. So, then the whole thing comes out, who he actually is. He sees June's gun, understands, holy shit, those are my guns. So then it all comes to light. Big light bulbs are going off all inside this RV. As the course of action goes on, JD John Dory senior kind of agrees, okay, I agree who you are.
Yeah.
I'm now going to let you help me all this crap. She actually says, okay, let's fix you up. Goes to the store, that general store where all the stuff is.
Wait.
Double crosses her.
That Dory has been stalking for many, many years, right? So this is my big thing. So his dad's been here around the same 15-mile stretch of where he left his family 40 years ago, and never went to check on and see if his son still lived there, where his truck was still there, where he got running earlier. Like, this guy would have known, after all his reconnaissance, being a police officer, would have had friends that he would have known he was a police officer. But how do you not know your son's still alive?
Well, he wasn't always there, though. They were in, like, that compound. Just saying. Virginia's compound.
He didn't know. Well,
anyways,
for the last
I
time,
agree.
was
I'm
there
going
too.
back to what you actually kind of convinced me a little bit. I kind of agree with you, and that's fine. So, anyways.
Maybe he's just holding his hand. Maybe he did know. He's not playing all his cards right now to June. He might know more.
It could be.
Because if he did say he knew, then June might be like, you're a piece. She might just be more against him, right? So when you're being as stoic as you are, maybe just holding all his cards close.
Could be.
We'll see.
So anyway, Senior does the big double cross. And convinces June to go look for John's signature on a wall somewhere, locks her in. leaves. They have this argument. Leaves. Blah blah blah. Whatever with all that stuff. That's fine. I mean, he obviously doesn't want. He's got this thing where he doesn't want people that he cares about to get hurt, and he actually said, "You're the closest thing to family I have."
Right.
Blah, 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 blah.
And
So
he left his family and son not because he didn't want them, because he didn't want to hurt them. And what he did was hurting everyone around him because as John Dory said, he planted the evidence to take this guy away.
And then turned into like a hero, and he was like, I can't even handle that.
Well, because people found out that what he did.
No, they actually treated him. He actually said they treated me like a hero because I'm the one that solved the case.
Right.
So, anyway, so he locks her in there. He takes off, goes on his own way again, and then Dwight and Sherry, that fucking stupid ass duo. They actually hear something. I don't know how they hear it, but they hear her. So they come in and rescue her. In the meantime, Senior has found the cabin, goes to the cabin, finds the cabin, is, being retrospective, kind of looking around and stuff, and he actually sees like a half-eaten fish. Clue one that, okay, somebody's been in my cabin sooner than later. So, although he puts his guard down, which is kind of weird too. Yeah. I don't know why anyone puts their guard down in the apocalypse. I don't know why that happens, but okay,
go
ahead. You know what? Holster your guns. Nobody cares. It's fine. It's all fine. Don't worry about it. So goes outside and then actually comes across, I don't know the guy's name.
Yeah, Virginia's guy that was still there from before. Like, it was one of Virginia's first people that was still there. He was on the run, I guess, too, right? He was on the run.
I think he's just, well, yeah, because what is he going to do? Like,
because he was Virginia's guy, and he stuck up for Virginia.
And now there's no Virginia. That's right.
So he's like on the run from everybody.
So he comes out, you hear So he comes out and they get into a scuffle. And actually, Senior was kicking his ass, which is rightfully so. He was kind of kicking his ass. And then as he gets knocked down, they're scuffling on the ground. He actually sees his son's grave, kind of loses his shit, understandably, and then actually gets kind of overtaken. He actually gets shot. And as that's happening, though, luckily, thank God, the trio now shows up. And I don't know who shot the fire. I was assuming that was June that shot, that killed the dude.
She was Greedo. She shot first.
Nice. Nice reference. Nice.
Right.
Nice.
No big deal.
I'm pretty proud of you right now.
That.
It's a trap. Anyways. So June shoots the dude, and I actually said, really, he's fucking dead already? And of course, then now June also saves him. Right. So, but it was very sweet. I don't know. I'm surprised this didn't happen on Father's Day, by the way, because that seems to be how they roll. Right. So I'm surprised this wasn't the Father's Day episode. But I mean, the whole point of the show to me, I mean, they obviously want Senior to kind of take in that knight in shining armor almost a little bit, kind of going to be their savior. Sure. And so the whole episode was kind of about him redeeming himself without overtly coming out of the show saying, no, you guys should really like this dude. He's not as bad as everyone made him out to be. Yeah. I mean, that was even evident in
So where we find out, like, this double bow thing, the underground people that we met a couple of episodes back was actually Teddy, the guy that John Dory's dad put away those 40 years back with that planted evidence. So his dad is not only tracking down this group, he's tracking down Teddy again, which is so bizarre and so just convenient. It's almost like this. Stupid. These guys have just been like
unrealistic, a little unbelievable. Yeah.
Not like unbelievable as zombies and all that. Like, that's totally believable. But like these two, like these arch enemies, are now still together and still against each other, polar opposites.
And so now we see the climactic kind of approach as we're 3 episodes until the end of the season. Yeah. So we see that happening. Okay, so. After that, I mean, I did appreciate all the snaps. Oh, we do have to mention. Okay, so Sherry did say goodbye to Dwight for the, I'm going to say 37th time, because we're going to get to 57 at some point. But now they've decided that, oh God, it's so stupid. So
they're going to Virginia.
Well, that was the whole part of the thing. So she concocted this whole thing in her head that she wanted to get away from Dwight this whole time to take Negan out herself. And now she's coming to realization that, no, it's not that. It's I don't know how to handle myself. No. I just love.
When she first said I'm going to Virginia, I was like, Virginia's dead. June just killed her. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, wait, you're going to the state of Virginia?
Yeah, no.
You're going to go to...
No.
You're going to go to... I was like, okay.
So this episode did kill me a little bit. Like, I actually cried more in this episode than the Mother's Day episode, just because of that letter. Like, that letter literally killed me. I was like, I gotta pause and get tissue now. It really did kill me. But then I also, as soon as that started to happen, actually this whole episode, just seeing them back together again, Dwight and Sherry, I was like, I feel like, and we chatted about this, I feel like some of the premonitions, the dreams, whatever you want to call them, that Grace had, I do feel like they're going to come to fruition. So this is our first kind of light into that. Sherry and Dwight are going to get together for the 38th time and break up again, I'm sure, because she's a stupid hoe. So there's that.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
The next couple of episodes are going to be pretty pivotal for the series, I believe. Obviously, going to a climactic ending. It was good to see the show kind of ended with a very good upswing, they got momentum.
God. How happy were you? Morgan was so happy to meet Dory's dad.
Yeah.
It was that actually made the whole show for me. I got all warm and fuzzy inside.
He was also a cop and a sharpshooter too. And then Dory didn't have a whole lot of good stories about his dad because he obviously was a very big part of his life. But he left so young. It was a big gap. And so I think Morgan seeing John Dory's dad was almost like Dory coming back. A little bit of a, because Dory brought Morgan back from the brink. Morgan was when he left The Walking Dead, he was so just I'll never be part of anything anymore. I don't trust anybody. Everyone is just horrible. And Dory made him stop being recluse again and coming together. And so Dory, the last name Dory, carries a lot with him, which is I think when he saw him, it was just another big bright spirit's coming back to him.
And so now magically too, Morgan's fine with June.
Which he processed those 5 stages pretty quickly.
Way better. It was just dumb anyway, so yeah. We know when you're dumb, maybe you can process things better. I don't know. Anyways, don't give that look to the camera. Stop it. I can see it. I'm right here. I see it. I'm right here. Such a turd. My co-host, everyone.
All right, well, 2 more episodes.
3.
3 more episodes.
3 more episodes.
Cheers. Good review. Good reviews. Plurals.
Plurals, yeah. Love it won't be easy to come to life, my dreams. Red, gold, and green. Every day.
That's it. So, the beer we did today was from Epidemic Ales.
We did a beer.
We did their beer called Squad Ghouls. It's a hazy IPA. They have the best can art. Oh my God! Their can art is always phenomenal, always top notch. They take a lot of time with their naming and their can art. It's actually really, really cool. Hope you guys get a chance to look at this.
Yes. So this is a collaboration with Creative Creature from Southern California. Y'all may or may not know that I am not a big hazy.
You're not big at all. You're tiny.
Thanks, Travis. So what I can say, so from that standpoint, for me, what I get from this, super juicy. I do get grapefruit. I do get pine. They talked about some grape action, white grapes. I don't get the white grape thing going on, but it is definitely a hazy IPA. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah. The white grape henny is always
you
good.
Can tell. You are not looking through this glass. Here's my finger. You are not looking through the glass.
Yeah, but it looks like pumpkin juice. You know what we're talking about. That's what's up. It says the alcohol percentage is 7%, which is actually pretty low for a hazy IPA. Usually up 8, 9 above. IBU says 19. It tastes a lot more bitter than that. Usually the grapefruit and the hops are actually a lot more bitter. The 19, they put it in the can. That's what it is, but it tastes a little bit more bitter than that.
It is juicy.
The white grapes.
I get juicy.
The white grapes will also have that tang. So if you guys have had the white grape Hennessy, I think what white grapes has a little bit more. I don't know if it's just tannins or just tang.
Hennessy?
White grape Hennessy white. They make cognac from white grapes. Has the same type of taste. It's it gets bitter, and that's what makes you think that there should be more IBUs too, but obviously not. It's delicious. It's hazy, which is more alcohol content in it, but the color is gorgeous. It goes back easy. I've been using it to taste my Basil Hayden all night, so that's okay. Squad Ghouls is a solid hazy IPA, which is more potent, and I bet you if you go to Epidemic Ales, they'll have it on nitro as well, and nitro beers taste way better. But yeah, take a 4-pack to go. This is actually pretty good spot.
And Epidemic, I don't know their vicinity, but you can actually order and they deliver beer too now. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know that they also have some beers through. If you guys have the at-home beer keg system, forget what it's called, but they also do a lot of their torpedoes to them as well.
Also known as that choo-choo beer system.
Choo-choo, choo-choo. They're everywhere. They're getting really huge. If you guys in the East Bay, please go visit them. They always have a nice truck out there. Their grilled cheese or tacos, they guys do it up out there.
Oh yeah, the tacos today, delicious.
Yep, we love Epidemic. They do a great job.
Yep, sure do.
Cheers.
Sure do. Like that? You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's my daughter calls Shorty. She calls her Shodu.
Show-do.
She Shodu.
Oh man, that's
All
bitter.
right, guys. Thanks for watching the reviews. Get some beers.
Get some beers.
And get some whiskey.
Get some beers.
Have a good one, guys.
Get some
Thank
zombies.
you very much. Get some zombies.